Justin Herbert takes down the Broncos to move to 3-0.
That was crazy.
That might be throw of the year.
Become the first team to start 3-0 with all division wins since 2006. Meanwhile, oh boy, Classic 2 turns into a 3-0. Look at this guy, Josh Allen out here wearing a Colts jersey. Here's how Justin Herbert and Daniel Jones are doing this year. Yards per pass, 9.3 for Daniel Jones, who leads the NFL. Passer rating, 111 for Daniel Jones. So what is the number one story here? The 3-0 Chargers, Greg, or the 3-0 Colts?
Oh, we going to me?
Yeah, we're going to start with you.
Well, obviously, I mean, we can't overstate the start that the Chargers made. We're beating the Chiefs.
Yeah, solid.
It's important. But is this really a question?
I can't believe it.
It is about the Indianapolis Colts. Matter of fact, I'm going to take it another step further. It's about Daniel Jones. And I'm going to try to be as calm as I possibly can be. Because there are a lot of people that would say that, oh, Greg, you bailed on Daniel. No, I never bailed on Daniel Jones.
No, he didn't.
Correct, you did.
I've always talked and understood the talent. Sometimes, as a meal prepper, I get it. Yeah, as a meal prepper, I get excited.
I
Sometimes
didn't know you could be identified as
I want my food now. So sometimes most times, I cook my chicken and I cook it fast.
Yeah.
Then there's other times when I just need to slow cook it, and it's at its best. When I cook it too fast, sometimes I run the risk of something going wrong, overcooking it.
Just so you know, this isn't unique to meal prepping. This is just cooking.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm locked in right now.
And I watched Daniel Jones, and I tried to say these things. Like, well, look at the situation in New York. Offensive line, he's just thrown behind this weak offensive line. He doesn't have receivers. He only has a running back. And we're now deeming him a receiver as well. And then look at his coaching, just carousel, all these things. I said this stuff. No one would listen. I even said, man, he's top 10. I said this. And people did that. Can you get the camera on this guy? They did this.
Aggressive.
They questioned it. They doubted it. And now all of a sudden, I see one win against the Dolphins, pretty impressive.
They punted
2
once all year,
wins.
Greg.
They punted one
There you
time.
go. I mean, and
told
they're
you
scoring like 30
I was going to
again.
keep it down.
Yeah.
He's been protecting the ball, been phenomenal. Daniel Jones is the reason why the Indianapolis Colts are in the discussion for
what?
For what?
For what?
Team of the month. NFL
are they
team of the month.
possibly contenders in the AFC?
Oh, gosh.
And all they needed was a quarterback.
Okay.
I mean, they can run the ball. They have a good quarterback.
What?
They're a cute team. All right.
Here we go, man.
And look, I'm happy for you.
No, you're not.
You deserve this.
You are not.
No, you went 10 toes down for Daniel Jones years ago and was mocked for it. And you deserve this moment. I'm just afraid it's not going to age well. All right? The 3 wins, the Titans, Denver, that's a good win.
Maybe.
Could have been a loss, but it's a good win, maybe. We'll see what the Broncos are. And then the Dolphins, who, you know,
Yeah.
we know what they do.
Yeah.
Just take the
Daniel Jones is balling, but
hollow wins.
it's not all about Daniel Jones down in Indy. You know I'm from that town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And what people are yelling about is, yes, Daniel Jones, we found something. But how can we give the running back some credit?
Of course.
Can we give some love to Jonathan Taylor?
Yes.
Look at this run. This is the run of the year. We got catch of the year and all that. Run of the year. That is incredible.
It is.
He is opening it up for Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones is looking good, Greg. And I think they looking like a playoff team. But I wouldn't go contender.
Yeah, I'm not writing in Sharpie that they're in the playoffs yet. For the
No,
record.
me either.
For the Colts. It's been a great start to the year, and it's a great story. And I thought the Titans, idiotically, I thought they would give them a game.
Who'd you pick in that game?
I picked the Titans to cover. I picked the Titans to cover.
Just
Greg,
they got, and I will
He
never.
deserves it.
No, that's fine.
But
you guys
it's been
are all,
a rough
to be
6
fair,
years for him
to
since
be
he
fair,
said he's top 10.
But you guys, regardless of any of that, the bigger story is obviously the Chargers.
No, it's not. That's why we didn't start with you.
No,
That's why we started with
the Colts is
me.
the
We knew you were going to do
Hold
this.
on.
It's not.
Colts is a shock.
No one wants to hear that.
Guys.
Chargers aren't a shock.
Yes, but the Chargers are more. Last
Whoa,
week.
finish that statement.
Relevant. They're more relevant.
They beat the Chiefs.
No, I agree with that.
Not only,
They are
it's not
more
because they
relevant.
beat the Chiefs.
I mean,
it's
we see what the Chiefs
it's
are.
because the Chargers have a viable path to a deep
I agree with that.
postseason run. They have a star quarterback, a star coach, a defense that, if we can throw it up real quick, Dust, has an argument that it might be the best defense in the NFL. They are likely the only thing standing between the Bills and the 1 seed. Like, the Chargers are the story. And the fact that they won a game yesterday that they have lost for decades. That they instead were the team that forced the chargering into the other team is why they are the bigger story. I'm sorry. I don't mean to disappoint you.
No, don't try.
The Colts
are more relevant.
We want to
I think
capture the
Colts are
entire
biggest story
season
right
now all of a sudden. Nobody thought the Colts could be doing this right now.
I'm with you.
No one.
What I'm saying, the Colts beating the Dolphins and the Titans.
I don't care. We thought they would be 0-3. We thought they had quarterback issues. So now all of a sudden, because they don't have quarterback issues and they're 3-0, oh man, they only beat the Miami Dolphins.
Mahomes aired it out. Kelce aired out some grievances. Russ airballed several passes. Chiefs get into the win column. Chiefs fans feel good about this victory.
Relieved for sure, and good in this regard. Listen, I know Chiefs Twitter right now, some of which involves some Hall of Fame Chiefs, you know what I mean, are more down on the team right now than I am. And it is because I think, first of all, one of the frustrations I have when we talk about Patrick in comparison to any other quarterback, and it's like, hey, look at his numbers, look at those guys', there is no context for the amount, for any player currently or historically, for the amount of success Patrick had, in his first 7 years starting, as far as individual success, team success. So when Coach says success like a martini, it relaxes you. We don't know what numbers Josh and Lamar would be putting up if they had climbed the mountain 3 times over, those types of things. The reason I bring that up is the only context we have for a team trying to every single year without any gap compete for a championship and doing it is the Patriots. Particularly the Patriots. The last decade, Brady was there. And when they made those 8 straight conference championship games, which is the record the Chiefs are chasing at 7 straight, they started 4 of those 8 years 2-2. They spent September, a lot of those years, figuring stuff out. That hasn't been the Chiefs' path, but right now it appears that it is. So I am looking for, is there improvement? I thought week 1, I came in here and I was like, man, that for the first time in forever, that pass defense worries me. I feel better about that now. I don't think it's fixed, but I'm not panicked about it the way I once was. I don't think they are going to fix the running back spot, absent a trade, but I think that might be a trade acquisition that they make. They are getting Worthy back. They will get Rice back. And Thornton, I am cautiously optimistic that he is, a piece.
He should be,
And so last night, they go into the Giants, a team with a great pass rush in theory, where their 2 starting receivers are literally 2 guys who were not good enough to make the Patriots, and they found a way to have a comfortable win after an awful first half. And so I think right now you are in the odd survive and advance portion of your season with a chance to flip the narrative entirely Sunday if you beat the Ravens. And so I feel good about it. The team they are right now could not win a playoff game, except they won't be this team come the playoffs. And in the playoffs, they get a different level of Patrick, at least they have every single year. So that's why I feel relieved and better, I think, than most.
Look, the fans should be, relief is a great word. I mean, it's your first win. You got to get some wins. And like Nick said, these first 6 weeks, whatever, are about surviving. Now, if they beat Baltimore, it becomes different and you start expecting them to win every week again. But right now, it's about surviving until you get guys back. Look, there are still concerns. I don't think you're
Yes.
saying there aren't. Mahomes has had really good moments. I thought he was really good in the second half. He still missed a few throws that were odd for him, but he played well. Harrison Butker, that's interesting.
He's missed
right?
2 field
'Cause
goals and an extra point.
Yeah, he's been, obviously a huge part of their success the last few years. And so that was odd. That's something to be concerned about. I like, Greg, that Tyquan Thornton might be becoming something. And then when you get Worthy and Rice back, now he's getting more confident and things like that. So there are things to feel good about. We all, I think, expected an ugly win. And, and that's what it was, kind of an ugly win. But, yeah, I feel like the same way I felt about them going in. They're going to win this game. They'll survive until they get their receivers back, and they'll probably be better off for this rough start a month or two from now.
Yeah, it's tough because games like this, they still leave you scratching your head trying to figure out, are we good? Are we bad? Like, what are we? However, there should be a level of relief. From my perspective and my seat, watching this team play everything looks unbelievably hard.
Yes.
Unbelievably hard. From the play design, we're seeing Andy Reid call plays, and you know this, like creative plays during the early parts of a season to just sustain drives and get first downs, not to mix up things just to throw a wrinkle in there because we can. No, they have to do that right now. The one positive thing that I see out of this, you guys kind of mentioned it with Thornton, but even beyond that, they're pushing they've clearly made a concerted effort. We're going to push the ball down the field.
Yes.
We're going to keep doing that. And I think that's going to continue to allow them to open up offensively in the passing game because they have nothing in the run game. They got to get better protection for Patrick Mahomes. He's pressing a little bit as that's only natural for him to do because the play that he made on the throw to Pacheco where it's behind the line of scrimmage, he did it twice. I don't see him making that type of play with these other guys out there, and he's not pressing. He's just trying to get something out, create something out of nothing, and I don't think that that's going to be the place when they get full strength, if you will, and I don't know if they ever get full strength, but they got to feel good about getting the win because you cannot lose to the Giants and then feel good being on.
Listen, well, go ahead, KW. I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to get your thoughts on this Kelce thing. He had 4 catches for 26 yards. Earlier, I forgot which game it was, that he was super demonstrative, yelling on the sidelines. Here he has whoever Andy Reid kind of initiates contact with. I think this is just odd. I know I'm being told that this is like par for the course, and Andy Reid has like spun it into a positive, like he's firing the team up. It just hit my this is weird radar.
So this is why I don't think it's weird, KW, this is a guy in Kelce who in his second year threw a flag back at the ref, who has a whole mixtape of sideline meltdowns, if you will, and throwing helmets, who did in a Super Bowl bump Andy Reid and almost knock him over, and then they came back to win it. And in that moment, Andy bumps him, and minutes later, at halftime, when the game is, not going well, Andy's asked about it, and he's like, I thought it was good. We need some juice. Yeah. Now, if you are making a bigger, almost societal point about who we allow do things like that, and it's like, they're a competitor, and who does things like that, and they get scolded by the media, and that there's some privilege associated with that, I totally agree with you about there being a double standard there, and that if Travis looked differently or had a different reputation or any of that, it would be a bigger thing. But if you're asking me honestly, do I think this is at all a problem for the Chiefs? My answer to that is no. They were in the midst of winning. They were the first practice after winning the Super Bowl against the Eagles. He punched a teammate in the head at training camp into one of those little things and then said, I have to stop doing it. And 2 practices later, punched another teammate. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying it's not new.
There's a little element of like the boiling frog here where it's just things have gotten weirder since last year, even though they went to the Super Bowl. A few years ago, and Greg made me think of it, they were doing that snow globe play, spinning around.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes came on the show. I'm like, hey, when are you going to do the behind-the-back pass? Because things were so easy.
Oh, I
it was
agree
like
with that.
They were showmen out there. And now it's like, the fact that the coach and the tight end are like hitting each other because they're so frustrated, it's okay. That fires them up. But we've just traveled far from when I say like the Chiefs don't feel like the Chiefs.
Oh, I agree. I think they're stressed. I think they're stressed. I think your point about Patrick throwing the backwards passes is because he's stressed. I think Kelce reacting this way is because he's stressed. I do think that everything used to be so easy, and now they have an extended stretch of it being hard. I totally agree with that. I'm simply saying I think there is a chance it gets not as easy as it was, but easier again, and we start sliding back down in the other direction. We'll see. Yeah. But, I mean, they did have, the tackle that turned the tide in this game.
We'll see. You got the Baltimore Ravens coming to town.
The bigger story with Kelce, I don't think he's playing that well or as good anymore. He's still a good player. Yeah, he's not a great player.
And I think that's part of his frustration.
I think that's a bigger deal.
It's hard to accept that. He's been great for so long.
Yeah. Brew knows that.
I don't know who knows that.
No, we don't know. It's like all wide receivers. Like I'm just saying. Like,
well, some receivers are receivers, but they weren't good or great. They just were receivers.
Wow.
So not me. I don't know who he's talking about.
Don't talk about my guy like that. You didn't see the Syracuse.
Dreadful first half for the Eagles set the stage for a heroic comeback. Eagles had -1 passing yards at the end of the first half, only 34 total yards, and then the winning began. Hurts unleashed. A.J. Brown has the best game of the season, and Philly wins on a blocked field goal.
I think he gets credit for doing whatever they ask him to do. I do not think he likes the way they have, honestly, called plays for a couple years. You know what I mean? I think that last year it's easier to accept because you're blasting people and Saquon is crushing. This year, if we can put it up, Saquon is not playing well. And Saquon, again, it's too early to be panicked. It's not too early to be mildly concerned. Since, as an Eagle, his 5 worst games as an Eagle, 3 of them are weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
something.
that, and so
get the something
right. And so the only I'm not even bringing that up to knock Saquon, but if I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm like, okay, if he's running for 150 and the defense is shutting people down, that's one thing.
Yep.
But what they did in that first half, which was the run game isn't working, our defense can't get stops, we're not changing anything because God forbid we ask you to throw the ball down the field, would be at best frustrating and at worst insulting. And so, I thought this should be a victory lap day for you, KW, because we literally were talking last week, what are they going to do if they find themselves down big? And the answer was Jalen will bail them out with the star receivers. But it's really weird that they opted in the whole first half of playing that style.
Yeah, look, I would love to be in their locker room at halftime just to see the vibe, who comes in, how they come in, just the vibe of the individuals. Because I know how he's going to come in. He's going to come in exactly how he just presented himself, unmoved, unpanicked, like, guys, we got this. Because there's a level of belief that he understands and he knows and he operates with. I just don't believe that those calling plays share that same belief consistently all the time. And to your point, if they did, we would see more of a mixed bag of, okay, we can throw the ball to open up our running game. We can run the ball to open up our passing game, and we see it fluidly.
You would see it like how the Niners 2 years ago.
Correct. And we just don't see that with this team.
McCaffrey and Purdy.
And so what I thought was interesting, and it was the biggest story is definitely the Eagles. Their willingness, because the idea for viewers and for even us as players is, man, we got to go in here. We're going to make some adjustments. We got to change what we're doing. Mm-hmm. That does not happen. I know it seems like that happens because it's like, man, it's obvious. Well, you got to throw the ball. It doesn't always happen because you have a game plan, you have things that you run, and you feel like you owe it an opportunity to kind of just we got to try it. We got to at least put it out there. Well, in this game, at some point, which happened at halftime, you've had 8 pass plays, 4 completions, 22 offensive snaps, 4 consecutive 3-and-outs. It's not working.
Yeah,
we know we are supposed to be able to be the team that we can just run when we want to. However, we have Jalen, who's shown he can throw the ball. We have AJ, who hasn't been involved all season long yet. We have Devontae. We have Goddard. When they made the big play to AJ Brown, they were in single high. The Rams were in single high. The very next play, they went to 2 deep safety. You know who gets the touchdown? Dallas Goddard right down the middle. Why? Because they went to that guy and they allowed number 1 to make a play in the passing game. So it changes now how the defense has to play you. When you are the Philadelphia Eagles, we get it. You can run the ball. You have a style of which you want to impose your will on and enforce onto the game. If it's not working, you also have the ability and the luxury, not like most teams, to where we can beat you in
different ways.
We can win a bunch of different ways. Our quarterback just told you.
I agree with everything you guys said. They have to start throwing the ball more. And I said earlier, Greg, if they have doubts about Jalen, I don't know why you would at this point. Every time it seems like he has to throw, he does it well. But the time is now. Because if you see it's for some reason it's not working, he's not throwing it well, you can always go back. But they need to open, and that will open things up for Saquon too. But I want to take it, because I agree with you guys, to the Rams. This is now 4 straight losses they've had to the Eagles. They've never beaten Jalen Hurts.
3 in the last 10 months.
Yeah, and obviously, like, this is a game you're feeling like we outplayed, that we should have won this game. And now you give it up. It's kind of like we've talked about with the Chiefs and the Ravens, or the Chiefs and the Bills in the AFC. Like, they got to be in the Rams' head on this.
Can I ask you a question for you? Because
Yeah.
I feel like you created we'll call it a sports debate bar that was right up on the line of too far. And it's when you were talking about something and Brew said, that's an unacceptable position. Or no, what did you say? It's an unacceptable
opinion. That's based on you.
And I was like,
my word is against you.
Yeah, I was like, that one stung. I'm like, I don't even know if that's within bounds of like what we do. So I'm going to show you, this is the graphic because you were just talking about it. Jalen Hurts versus Matthew Stafford. Because when I defend Jalen Hurts, a lot of people say, well, Stafford, they both have a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts been to 2. And now it's 4 wins against 0. And completion percentage, total yards, yards per pass, touchdowns and turnovers are tied, and passer rating, all are in Jalen Hurts. Are you willing, Brew, to say it is an unacceptable opinion for someone to hold that currently Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback in the NFL than Jalen Hurts?
I get that he's everybody's All-American, all right? And he throws a beautiful ball.
The arm angle.
That's always been the case. I do think, though, Waz, like, one of the points I wanted to make, at this point, we have to stop saying Matthew Stafford's better than Jalen Hurts. Like, I think Hurts should be above Stafford right now.
Thank you.
They both, like you said, got 1 Super Bowl. I'll give you that Stafford, is the traditional, throws it really well. But all the other things that Jalen does, obviously he uses his legs better. Not to mention Stafford's 37. And the head-to-head, I'm not going totally head-to-head, because Hurts is not better than Mahomes. But in those head-to-head matchups, he's outplaying Stafford. Yesterday, the game was there for the taking.
And
Stafford
by the way,
did not deliver.
To be fair,
I mean,
Stafford also is not on the field goal block team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to be, I mean,
but in the last 29 minutes, he.
No, I understand. Well, except for at the very end, drove him down to what should have been a chip shot field goal and it got blocked. In a previous field goal, it got blocked. But it's not us you need to convince that, KW.
Wow.
It's Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo is the person who, it appears, does not think Jalen Hurts is better than Matt Stafford. Because I don't think the OC there.
OC for 3 games.
Right. I'm just saying you got to convince him. Yeah. Well, Hurts.
I would imagine that Jalen's going to talk with Sirianni and I mean,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
They should just be a little more balanced.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to
Just a
throw
little
it 40
more
times,
balanced.
but
So much for the undefeated season. Browns throw a flurry of punches with under 4 minutes to go to steal the round in the game. J-Lo turned into J-Lo were your expectations behind an offensive line that lost two starters on Sunday. Greg, are you worried about your Packers?
No, I'm not worried about them. This is what happened yesterday, and shout out to Coach Mangini, man. I gotta shout out to Coach.
Y'all got 18 upset alert points.
And it's not just about
texted
calling, making the pick. It's what he said could happen, how he said it could happen, and that's exactly what we saw unveiled itself. But this can't happen. That interception that we're going to show, that we're going to talk about, is the very reason I looked to you a couple weeks ago and I said, man, the Packers, they have everything. The one individual that can't put them in disadvantages defensively and as a team is number 10. It's Jordan Love. That right there, your team.
Just win the game.
The Browns cannot go the length of the field and put the ball in the end. They hadn't done it all game. Yes, they got the 3 points. You just gave them the ball in the red zone. Put your defense at a disadvantage. They just got off the field.
yeah.
This is what you can't do. The game is I get it. It's a one-score game. But these are the mistakes that if he makes them, this is what will derail their opportunity to achieve something great.
Just throw up the win-loss record if we can when he doesn't turn the ball over. It's the story.
Yeah.
And by the way, that 14-4, most of those games before they had Micah Parsons, before they had this type of
Yeah, that's a good point.
Jordan Love does not have the DNA or style of a game manager.
No.
But that's what they need from him. You know what I mean? Like they need it.
But he also doesn't have the ability to be Superman either. He hasn't
not
shown.
Patrick Mahomes.
No, he hasn't shown that he can be Josh Allen. He has some.
No, he has
he's
some
right in
flashes, but he
between
just needs to. What were you
that
about to say,
manager.
JW?
Superstar.
I'm upset at our producing staff.
Why?
Because you mentioned game manager, and our producer, Dusty, who is an Eagles fan, who's supposed to give me counts to commercial, and hey, we have this sound, says, wish they had Jalen. Just talking as an Eagles fan.
Oh, yeah.
In my ears.
But no, by the way,
So I'm
that
like,
part is,
laugh,
I was gonna, like that, that is an argument for Jalen Hurts. Is Jalen Hurts in that spot? Just doesn't make that
Not going
mistake.
to turn the ball over.
You know what I mean? He's not going to. He's probably not even going to throw it. He's going to drop back. If it's not wide open, I'm going to try to run for these 3 yards.
Take a sack.
Yeah,
I mean,
you just can't make that mistake.
Can't
Dust,
be
you have any
Jalen.
other Eagle stuff, Eagle stats?
By the way, I muted Dust on Twitter. He's too annoying during Sunday football,
was it? What was
and he
it, Dust?
hates the Chiefs, and he's tweeting all this stupid stuff. Sorry.
First design run for Jalen Hurts all year.
Okay, buddy, go to commercial.
got it ready.
We're way late. Dust, do your
Dusty's
job.
looking at Eagles
understand.
highlights and trying to produce.
I get it.
I love it, Dust.
Everybody, follow Call Me D Block and then mute it.
And then mute it. No huddle time. 3 stories. We will not huddle during this segment. First up, Cowboys get lit up by Caleb and Ben Johnson in Chicago. Dallas drops to 1-2. It's been a bit of a feast against this Dallas defense. Jalen Hurts completed 83% of his passes. Russ threw for 473 yards, and Caleb had 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, best passer rating, and he wasn't sacked for the first time in his career. Is anybody ready to throw the towel in on the Cowboys season?
Yeah, I will.
Oof.
CeeDee Lamb, high ankle sprain.
There you go.
It's a wrap. And listen, again, if you guys watched Sports Media Ombudsman last week, if the reporting is not as bad as it was feared, it's 2 weeks minimum out. And so he's going to miss at least the next 2 games. And the other reporting I'm hearing is not planning to put him on IR, which means they thought about it. So it's at least a couple weeks out. And I think it's real on the board that they just have the worst defense in the NFL. And so, yeah, I will go ahead and write off the Cowboys. And I think it's possible that they do finish last in this division. I mean, the Giants, we talk about the Giants are a total joke. That's fine. Giants and Cowboys literally just played, and the game couldn't have been closer than it was. And both teams have lost all the other games they've played. So, Yeah, I mean, I think they're in real rough shape.
If not for Brandon Aubrey, who is a phenomenal kicker, they could be 0-3. And like I said, I thought they were going to beat Chicago. And I thought, when you look at the NFC, you got the 4 division winners. You got Detroit or Green Bay, whichever one doesn't win. And that's it for certainty. We're not even certain anymore about Washington. We're not certain about a second team in the AFC or NFC West or a second team in NFC South. So if they were just pretty good, they'd be in the hunt. But they showed yesterday they're not pretty good. That defense is worse. Well, I think it's worse than the Bengals last year, at least what we've seen so far. And Dak, as good as he is not Joe Burrow. And they don't have a receiver, especially with CeeDee out, that Cincinnati has. So, yeah, they're done. They're toast. That defense just isn't good enough.
Yeah, I'm throwing in the towel.
Man.
Look, and it's yes, it has a lot to do with CeeDee, but I think it's gonna have a lot to do with Dak now, because just like we're seeing with Patrick Mahomes, and when the quarterback doesn't have the weapons that he's accustomed to, he's going to force things that he probably ordinarily wouldn't and shouldn't. That's going to end up being Dak. He's going to have to take more risk. That means turnovers are going to increase. With that defense, you can't turn the ball over at all. So, yeah, no.
Can I give a real quick Galaxy brain take?
Ooh, yeah.
If I were Buffalo, because Bass is hurt, and maybe even Baltimore, just because they're unsettled post Justin Tucker, I would honestly consider seeing if, giving up a second-round pick for Brandon Aubrey. Like those two teams that are trying to and I know that sounds crazy to give up for a kicker, but if you are the ultimate SBOB team, and if you're the Cowboys, having Aubrey right now is like having the best closer in baseball on the Rockies. Like it's
You
just
cross the 50-yard line.
right. And so
You're
if you're
in field goal
Baltimore or
position.
Buffalo that already score all the time, it feels like you'd get points any possession. I don't know.
I got to give him a tryout in the cold. You got to start kicking in a freezer. We're not in a nice dome anymore. But interesting. Giants, meanwhile, have dropped to 0-3. Russ got booed at the end of the game. He threw
I loved it.
2 interceptions.
-6, baby. Thank you, Russ.
Threw passes into the tunnel and off the uprights.
Extra point. Sweat.
I don't know what's going on here. Here's Russ this season against the Commanders. Didn't look great. Passer rating under 60, no touchdowns. Then he got to play the Cowboys in that defense. He looked amazing. And then he played the Chiefs. He had 160 yards, 2 interceptions, and a passer rating at 44. Is anyone ready to bench Russ for Jaxson Dart?
I am not starting Jaxson Dart's first game of his career against that Charger defense. Just not doing it. Now, Greg and I both had the mind meld take of, why do you have Jameis Winston?
Exactly.
Just play but I do think that, this is harsh because he's a Hall of Very Gooder, but the final pass of Russell Wilson's Giants career should have been the one that clanged off the crossbar. And that, if it's his final pass of his Giants career, that could be just the final pass. But
is that a pass that is trying to be caught as an errant pass, or do you think that's
Wildes
It's not very. It's not a nice. It's basically a remix of your take.
My take from his, his Broncos year, when people are like, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks. He wasn't as bad as you. If you look at the numbers, I'm not naming names.
96
but 90 that remembers it. I thought he was playing what I called a selfish brand of football, where he was protecting his numbers because he knew I'm on my way out. I need another job. Doing it in this spot would be baffling.
Well, it's 22-9. It's 4th and goal. Is that a catchable ball that he threw, Greg, or is he like?
It's not definitely not catchable. Was it a mistake? Is the question.
Well, did he mean it to be a catchable ball that got away from him?
Right.
Why not just, hey, there's a blue jersey over there. I'm going to throw a dart and let you make a play.
I couldn't believe this. And this is what, if you're a Giants fan and you're sitting and you're paying and you're watching these games, I can't keep coming and watching this. I just can't. I think last week it was exciting, and it's almost like we feel like they won, even though they didn't. The win was, Russ looked great.
Yeah.
The offense looked great. Well, now we're starting to see everybody's probably going to look great against the Dallas defense. Yeah. They have to do something. And it's tough because I think they're going to end up going to Jaxson Dart, and I do not believe they clearly don't want to, because I think it's going to be hard to go from Russ to Jameis, and Jameis is going to give you a better version of Russ, but he's definitely going to give you the interceptions. He's definitely going to give you the roller coaster, and it's like if you're going to just start this young man's career, you got all the other rookies.
After the Chargers, you have the Saints. You know, if you can hold off one more
I
week,
agree. I agree with you with the Chargers.
One more
That makes
week,
a lot of
and
sense.
then give him a decent start against the Saints.
Russ, and it was the same thing last year in Pittsburgh. All he does is dink and dunk or throw the long ball. That's it. There is no intermediate passing whatsoever. It is so predictable that I agree with you guys. Like Dart, I don't know if they're seeing something that's telling them he's not ready. And I am against just throwing in the rookie just because he was a first-round draft pick if he's not ready. But, you know, like you guys said, put Jameis in there. Jameis will probably be exciting and good for 3 or 4 games if you want that much. You might not even want that many from him. But he could probably do it 3 or 4 games. But the Saints makes a ton of sense to start Dart. But the season's over. They're 0-3, not making the playoffs. It's all about Jaxson Dart at this point.
If I can just add 2 very quick things. One is, it also is on Brian Dable to design get the ball in Malik Neighbors' hands somehow. That was outrageous.
Yes.
That's outrageous. And I don't care who's playing quarterback for you. Find a way to get Malik Neighbors the ball, that's first of all. And second of all, I don't know who I am talking to in the Giants organization. But if you watched that broadcast with the sound on, Chris Collinsworth did his best to, not go overboard, but it was so obvious that everyone within the Giants was telling Collinsworth and Tirico how excited they are about Jaxson Dart, how good Jaxson Dart is, how they can't wait to have Jaxson Dart playing. I don't think that's helpful. And I don't think if you were actually trying to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I've never heard a broadcast more open about the fact, the very tops of the organization are done with the guy playing quarterback now and can't wait for the guy playing quarterback here when the guy playing quarterback now is coming off the best game he's had in a decade. That's true. And it doesn't, I feel like those things were at least semi-related, and it's putting pressure on Dart. You talk about Jaxson Dart's aura. My goodness gracious. It was Chris Collinsworth was caught by it.
The Chargers defense will be a test for his aura. You see him where he's reading the wristband?
He's also very, very icy.
Rough day in Foxborough where the Patriots turned the ball over 5 times, but oddly still had a chance to tie the game before throwing a 4th-and-1 pass short of the sticks.
Well, it was at the sticks when the guy ran back.
Well, 6 inches short. Yeah. Also, Rodgers threw 2 touchdowns. Here's the tail of the tape. The Patriots had 71 offensive plays and almost 375 total yards. We had 5 giveaways. We lost by a touchdown. My takeaway is this. The Patriots felt like a little league team out there, rooting for them, but weird stuff happening. Just odd, but we were still in it. And this is going to sound crazy, and because I had a Patriots hat on, a Patriots shirt, and I was there with my kids trying to be the Patriots fan. But this is true if you watch the game. The Steelers are not a scary team.
Oh, that part's definitely true.
Okay, good. That's all.
That part's definitely true.
We might not be good, but the Steelers are not a scary team.
The Steelers are as close to a cross-off at 2-1 as I can remember.
You're going to cross them off.
But here's the...
Well, it's just that the AFC...
The AFC, right, correct.
They're catching breaks with quarterback play, too.
Yeah.
Who they're going up against.
But I called Kevin Wildes this morning, and despite the fact that Jalen Hurts vindicated him, that a lot of things, he's got a great life, great family, all this stuff. He was despondent based off the Patriots game. Mm-hmm. So I will say to you now publicly what I said privately. You have to come to grips with the fact that the team you root for is simply at this point a bad franchise. They once were great. The Patriots have been very, very bad for the exact same amount of time the Chiefs have been very, very good. Think about how long the Chiefs have been good for. The Patriots, since the Chiefs started making Super Bowls, the Patriots have been awful. So you shouldn't let it make you, like, Hubs is a Raider fan. I called Hubs this morning. He was happy as could be. I was more upset about the Raiders. He's like, we've been bad for 22 years, buddy. It's your fault for believing in us. You can't let them bring you down, bro. You just root for one of the bad teams. It's like being a Titans fan.
What's the Chiefs' record?
See, this guy. And
My two favorite teams. Got 2 wins. 2 and 4 combined, Patriots and Chiefs.
You can lean into that Philly.
I'm trying to help you.
I'm trying to help you.
No, I'm great.
We're both 1 and 2. Your 1 and 2 feels different than my 1 and 2. Well, we're 1 and 2 right there in the AFC.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.